Hello, 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 ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for hitting that play button for another episode of the Hetty Coleman podcast, where I sit down with fabulous people for a go-in conversation. Go-in is being consistent and doing the right things that allow for you to achieve the wins that you have defined for your life so that you can live out your greatest story. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. And so Today, ladies and gentlemen, I asked a dear friend of mine to travel not far. Lives in the OKC metro area, so it's not far, just 30 minutes to Guthrie, America, to sit down and let's talk a little bit of marketing going into 2023. She agreed to do it. Ladies and gentlemen, her name is Lindsey Miller. How you doing, Lindsey?
Great. Thank you for having me.
No, thank you for coming and being a part of this.
Yeah.
Just today, just trying to add value, just talk about some right things, right?
Yeah.
Tell people about yourself. Always versus me reading some script. I love for people just to kind of share who they are, what you do, kind of open it up with that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I make sure I show everybody that I'm wearing my
You
Hetty
see that?
Coleman
Red and black?
Yeah, I'm wearing my attire today
She couldn't
in
find
honor
Red
of you.
Sox, right?
I did. I looked everywhere for Red Sox. I couldn't find any.
You're not the only one. People say that all the time, but I
Yeah.
think what happens is when I find Red Sox, I buy them all. So,
I think that's true.
yeah, I just say, nope, give me all of them because it's only like 2 or 3 pair. Right?
We need to get some and like have them monogrammed or something.
I know.
And
I've
then
gotten
like
gifts.
get a store, like have a Hetty Coleman store where we can buy our Red Sox.
No, somebody's got me Red Sox would go in on them.
Oh, I think I saw that on Instagram. That's so thoughtful.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
and I loved it.
There's something powerful about the red.
Yeah,
and
it
like
is.
I don't wear red as much anymore. I
Yes.
used to. Like I loved that. But there was something about putting it on this morning and I was like, okay, I was feeling a little
I'm
powerful
ready.
today.
I'm ready.
Yeah. So I mean
Yes,
I get it.
Bring it.
I get it. No, I'm not even kidding. I really do. So yeah.
Thank you so much.
I'm ready
I
to be
appreciate
here
that.
and talk about it.
Yes.
So yeah, a little bit about me. I'm an Oklahoman. I'm from Oologah, Oklahoma.
Oologah.
So I mean Guthrie, like
Yeah.
this is like a big city
This is a big
compared to Oologah.
How many
to be
people
honest.
did you graduate with?
120 something.
Okay.
I know. I admire people that can be like 117. I don't know. Like we're 100.
Yeah.
I don't, it's been over 20 years ago.
Yeah.
I could look at the yearbook, I guess, and see. But yeah, not many.
Yeah.
Compared to some of these other people. But yeah, so I'm a small town Oklahoma girl and went to OU and stuck around for a while and met a man, as it always goes, and got married, and we have a couple of children, and we both have businesses and been involved in the entrepreneurial community. And
Mhm.
I usually tease that it's because I'm unemployable. I think I'd be a really bad employee.
Yeah.
I'm not very good at being told what to do, I
Got
think.
you.
I don't know. Maybe I'd be a good employee too. But yeah, so we like being business owners and working together has been really fun. So my husband and I really enjoy that collaboration. We're not the kind that like to be apart. We have a lot of fun together.
That's good.
And so yeah, we have kids and we just I love my little family.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go back to Oologah.
Yeah, Oologah.
Oologah. Let's go back to that. What was your favorite thing about living in a small town?
Oh gosh, there was a lot, honestly. I think being where I am now, I'm so well rounded. I mean, I grew up like barefoot in a cattle pasture, riding 4-wheelers and horses and ponds, and so I have like really strong roots of knowing what it's like to live in the country and be around I don't know, just a variety of people.
Yeah.
And then, we can go to a fancy party and be dressed up and get my hair done and my makeup done and fit in there too. And although sometimes probably feel like I fit in better barefoot in a pasture. But I feel like it's just a really good place to be from and know the value of really hard work. And I watched my entire family, they woke up when the sun came up.
Yeah.
And they might have worked. My dad was a chiropractor. So he would go and do his chiropractic and then he would come home and then he would work outside. And my grandfather and my uncles and everybody. So I feel like my work ethic is really shaped by being from there.
Oh, got you. Yeah. No, and I think a lot of people who are from small towns seem to have a good work ethic because of something related to just, there's something about small town, you just got to do everything because you don't have a lot of resources to hire out for things or whatever the case may be, and just growing up in that way. So how did you end up at OU?
My mother's side of the family were just like huge OU fans. And so it was just inevitable.
Gotcha.
My aunt was a sorority girl at OU, and I idolized her so much. And so that was my dream.
Gotcha.
Well, like, I guess I didn't dream big, but like that was the dream, was just to always go to OU and be in a sorority and let life take me. I don't know that I ever thought beyond that. Like I was like all kids, right?
It was all in OU.
Yeah. I mean, my profession changed like the direction of the wind, like the profession always was moving around, but it was always, we're saving for this. Like I got an allowance and 10% went to the college fund. Like it was always that.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it was always OU.
Gotcha.
And so I lived it up.
Gotcha.
Oh my God.
Gotcha. So leaving from the small town, going to OU, which like much bigger than the town, just this university itself.
Yeah.
What did you have any challenges kind of adjusting to that bigger community?
Absolutely. There were times where I would get really stressed and I would just drive out where there was like grass and trees. And I didn't realize it at the time. I was like, in retrospect, and I would go, oh, I guess I missed that part of it. I was just around people so much and I needed space. But I don't know. There was no friends that went with me to OU. If they went, I mean, lots of people went to major universities. But none of my close friends had gone to Norman. And so, it was a good adjustment. But at the same time, I don't know, Enneagram 7, I guess. Mm-hmm. And so I just looked at it as a fun opportunity of meeting new people and almost reinventing myself too, of whatever labels I had from small town, because you don't really get to choose anything there, like whatever group you're in or whatever that looks like. And so when I went to Norman, it was like, okay, I get to be whatever I want to be now. Yeah. And I get to like shed all of this stuff and have a new identity. And I really leaned into that opportunity of reinventing and educating and making new friends and like diversifying my brain, I think.
Now, were you bouncing back and forth from home to OU? And if so, was there a time period to where when you came back, people were like, oh, you're not the same anymore?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I think it was the first summer I came back and was like, okay, maybe these aren't my friends anymore. Yeah. I mean, I still like have such fond memories.
Oh, for sure.
Like see them and love them and care about them. But yeah, it was definitely just, and I wasn't the same to them.
Yeah.
And they weren't the same to me. And they probably also grew in their own ways as well. And I mean, but when we were kids, right? Like, who are you when you're 17 except living to impress the people around you? Yeah. So when you're 18 and 19 and 20, getting to live for different reasons and learning about the world outside of Ulagatolala, it's pretty eye-opening.
So you're at OU, and you said you met your husband?
No, I didn't meet him until much later.
Okay, much later. Yeah. Okay, so getting ready to transition out of OU.
Yeah.
Getting ready to graduate. What was the thought? Where were you headed? What did that look like for you?
So this is when I sound like a very scattered person, as when we talk about. And then people are like, I don't know if I can trust her. She makes very weird decisions.
No, trust me, everybody, we're still all the older I get, the more people I meet, I'm like, we never figure this thing out completely.
Hetty, I want to talk about you at 20 years old next, please. Okay?
Yes, we're all in. Okay. We're going.
So I wanted to go to law school.
Oh.
And Not because I wanted to be a lawyer necessarily, but I thought there was a diversity of options if I had a law degree, if I went to graduate school and had that space. I really loved the nonprofit space. I didn't necessarily care about making money. I cared about working for a purpose, but I wanted to have options around that. And so I thought law school would be my answer. And so I studied and was taking the LSAT and in law club. And the person there, I was very, very blessed that I didn't have to work in college. My parents put me on scholarship, that if I made good grades, stayed out of trouble, like did all the things that I was supposed to do, and we'd been saving since I was very, very young, that they would continue like paying it out of that savings account, and anything extra they would cover. And so I had to work, and the law club person was like, it's really good for applications if you have a job. And I thought, oh, okay, I'll do that. Like, that sounds like a great idea, Anyway, so I applied for 2 positions, I applied for lots. That's when we had newspapers back then, right? And you would mail in like resumes and cover letters and stuff. And so I applied for lots of law firms, and there was a person named Lisa Pryor who was running for state senate at the time, and she had come to our sorority house to get our votes, and she spoke, and I talked to her, and there was a job at where she was working, and so I applied there too. So I got an interview at an awesome law firm making like $40-something thousand a year. And then I got an interview with her at the Oklahoma Democratic Party for $25,000 a year. And so I was like, oh gosh, which one of these am I going to choose? Which one do you think I chose? The $25,000 a year, no benefits, nothing. And loved it. She was absolutely amazing, still a dear friend of mine, and gave me way more, opportunities than I probably deserved. And I learned everything, and never went back to law school. Loved politics, loved fundraising, made such good friendships, and learned everything about life. All of the fun that I had in college, which was amazing, like all came in there. And so I spent about 10 years in politics at that point.
Gotcha. What's your one tip on fundraising?
Ask. Ask. Yeah.
That's a great tip, because most of us just think it happens.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
No, you got to open your mouth. You got to tell them what you want.
Yeah.
If you don't.
Yeah. Ask a specific amount, right? Every time. So Bailey Bruce, who does a fantastic fundraising here in Oklahoma City, she and I were just talking yesterday. She and her, Reagan, who works for her on her team, we're going over a bunch of stuff in the office, and I was like overhearing. She's like, oh, I love your opinion on this. And so we were looking at a bunch of like end of year request letters. And one of these was like so good. It was like well designed. It was a great letter. And there was like no ask until the end. And like the very last sentence of like 5 paragraphs of this letter was like, and if you would like to make a contribution, we'd appreciate it. And you're like, oh, what? So yeah, fundraising 101 is, hi, Hetty. I'm, doing this thing. I'm raising money for, Hearts for Hearing. Would you be able to give $500 today? And then you wait, right?
I'm waiting.
And wait. And whoever talks first is usually, the loser. They're the one going to pay, right? So if you,
So you have to be willing to sit in silence.
Yeah.
That's a great, be okay with the silence.
Yeah, it's so hard.
Because, it is. Yeah, most people are not okay with the silence. So, so at some point in that 10 years up to now, you meet your husband.
Yeah. So, at the end of the politics, my last year in politics, I met Corey Miller. Yeah.
Yep. Can you tell us a little bit about that? I always love romantic stories. Like
our little meet cute.
Your meet cute.
Yeah. So he, had a mutual friend, and I was not looking for a relationship, and neither was he.
Okay.
And so I was 27. He was well into his 30s. So I always say, I'm like, I have an older man, but he's not that much older than me. He's just 7 years older than me.
I'm an old man.
Yeah. I'm like,
sure Corey did.
I know. I've told some people, I'm like, well, yeah, Corey's older than me, and I get looks, and I'm like, well, not like 40 years older than me. You know,
Not that much.
although
yeah.
it would be okay if he was.
Yes,
I'm not
yes,
judging
yes.
any, and I have no ageism issues. But it was really dark, and my girlfriend and I were working out a lot at the time, and she was like, "Hey, is it okay if my friend, Corey Miller, comes and has dinner with us after our rent?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I don't care. Like,
Yeah.
fine." And we were getting pizza from Wedge, and so we go on our run and our workout, and it was time for her to go get the pizza, and we were all sitting there visiting. And she was like, "Okay, Lindsey, you want to go with me to pick up the food?" I was like, "No, I think I'll stay here." And she was like, "Oh, okay." And 10 months later, we were married.
That is cool.
Yeah.
That's
And that
cool.
was 12 years ago now.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Now, both of you are entrepreneurs now.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So
Who jumped first into entrepreneurship?
So he already had his software business then, and
Okay.
I had a political consulting firm at the same time. So we
Gotcha.
were both there. If we really want to go back to the beginning, my first entrepreneurial journey was at 5.
Okay.
What
you selling?
I was selling my artwork to my family.
Oh.
I wanted to be an artist.
Okay.
So I would draw my little pictures, and I would sell them to my grandma.
Were you putting a price on it at that age?
Oh yeah. I would
so this was
yeah. I remember and my mom tells these hilarious stories, but how you do those little hand turkeys. I felt like I was very good at those.
Okay.
And so everyone would come to our house for Thanksgiving, and I would spend several days making my little hand turkeys, and I would go "That's a really good one. That's 75 cents."
Yeah.
Or "That one's not very good. That's a 10-cent one." And I would take my shoebox around, and I would make them all go through and pick which one they want, and then I would get their payment. And yeah. Anyway,
Wow.
But as far as the real businesses were concerned,
were way ahead of the game.
I guess I just learned early in life that I could do something and somebody would pay me for it, and how cool is that?
Yeah.
And then I could save that money. I didn't really spend it very much. I was always a saver. I always had a dresser drawer filled with cash. And then, but I just knew that that was worth something.
Yeah.
But as far as adult businesses, he had the first real business.
Gotcha.
So he had a software business with a huge team, and I brag about him all the time. He gets embarrassed, but he's written a WordPress for Dummies book, and he had customers all over the world. And then his business was acquired a couple of years ago by a venture capital firm out of Chicago.
Oh,
so,
wow.
Yeah, I know Corey Miller's a really big deal.
Come on,
I just
Corey.
dabble with my artwork over here, and Corey Miller's real, he's a real entrepreneur.
No, I sell big businesses.
Yeah, he is a real one. Yeah, I just I write.
All right. Talking about writing, so at some point in life, you decide that you're going to get into marketing.
Yeah.
Right. And help people along their journey with their content.
Yeah.
Content Journey is the name of your business. How did that come about? What did that look like?
I honestly, it was Corey Miller. And when we were meeting in those early conversations when we were dating, and I was ready to get out of politics. I already said it. I was working for the Democratic Party. 2010 was a pretty not great year in Oklahoma for that particular party. And so we had several statewide candidates that didn't fare very well. Lots of local candidates that did great. And I thought, you know what? I don't know that I want to keep doing this for the rest of my life. And he was like, well, you should do marketing. I was like, I don't know anything about marketing. And he was like, that's exactly what you're doing.
Yeah.
And I was like, no. And so there was a lot of conversations about transferable skills. And he really helped me lean into thinking that I had another skill, because I didn't think I did. I thought, I just know how to do fundraising for politicians. I didn't think I could do anything else. And so I kind of realized that was what I was doing, was marketing all of these years. But I still held on to this core belief that I really wasn't doing it for myself. I was going back to that college thing of wanted to do nonprofit, wanted to help other people. And even politics, it was always about helping others. It was bettering my community, bettering my state, bettering my country and my world through that path. And so I still wanted to hold on to that piece. And that's really what Content Journey is still about at its core, is when we're helping other people. We're helping their businesses. And we make it very clear on the website, we don't work with just anybody. We work with people we like, with businesses that we like. And so we will, we have the right to refuse service.
Yeah. No, that's cool. Yep. And so tell me about Content Journey. Like
Yeah.
what is what's been great about it and how long has it been going exactly?
So Content Journey started in August of 2020, which, yeah.
Who else out there is starting businesses in COVID?
I know, right? Remember when I told you that you're going to ask me these questions and people are going to be like, oh, I'm really questioning that lady's judgment. Yeah. We should really just stick to like SEO questions.
But the truth is, right? Like that was probably the best time to start a
Yeah. Any clients who started with us in 2021 really big. Which is why as we're kind of going into this other like economic downturn, I keep being like, let me show you like what we did for people in 2020 because it was like anyone who invested then. And when we go back and look at any economic downturn, anyone who invested in marketing, even advertising, which is not something that I do, but if you did do that, in economic downturns win really big. They recover quicker from their businesses and just end up stronger. So yeah, so we started in August in 2020. I was also in graduate school at the same time, Hetty. I know.
Oh my God, I didn't know that.
I'm a quick start.
You are no joke. That's
right. Yeah. And so I had this idea of doing marketing better.
Yeah.
Right. And serving people a little bit better than other people were. And so I had done like a little stint in corporate America for a little while. And so I was taking some things that I had learned there and I wanted to do it for different size businesses. I didn't want to do it for the 100 million and the 300 million anymore. I wanted to do it for the smaller people.
Yeah.
And so I thought, before I'm done with this graduate school deal, let's just build a website and see what happens. And so my friend AJ Morris helped build a website. Corey Miller bought my domain. And like within the first couple of weeks, we had our first client. And 2 months later, hired our first person full time. And by the end of the year, we had 5 clients and another full-time person. And it was just growing really fast. And it's so much fun.
Yeah. So, in that, so you've been in business a couple of years now. We're getting ready to go into 2023, and it's starting to look like we're not sure what the economy may be looking like for sure, whatever the case may be. But regardless of that, marketing is still important.
Yeah.
What are some going into 2023? What should people be doing with their marketing?
So I have 5 things to talk about, and I brought a little list so I don't get off topic. Because as you can see, bad decision maker over here. I could be like,
you're killing it.
I could be like, oh, let's do direct mail.
Yeah.
Right? And you're gonna be like, oh, Lindsey. That's not it, by the way. Okay. So doubling down on what we're already doing. So investing our energy in where we're at, repurposing content. So like if we're already creating stuff, repurposing it in other ways, not feeling pressure to like keep recreating and like not, having unique content everywhere that we're going, leaning into video, like videos everywhere and people are loving that. And then finally just being consistent, whatever that may look like.
Gotcha. Can we go slow on those now?
Yeah.
Okay. Give us the first one. What is the first one again?
So there's so many social networks out there, and now especially with Twitter, like all the things that are happening in the Twitter world, everyone's getting fractured. What's the word I'm looking for? Some people are going to Hive, some are going to Post News, some are going to Mastodon, and so like you're like we're going to be everywhere. Tumblr, like you're like, are we going everywhere now? So we're going to be at TikTok, we're going to be at Pinterest, we're going to be at Instagram, we're going to be at Facebook, we're going to be at Mastodon, we're going to be at Tumblr. No, like we don't have to do that. So where are we spending our time already? And let's just double down on that instead of spreading ourselves so thin to be everywhere. And some of that is just asking questions about where's our audience, not where are our friends, not where do we feel socially pressured to be, but where are our customers? Because at the end of the day, we're building businesses. Or if we are building businesses, if you're building friendships, then like go where your friends are. That's right. But again, just like choose where your time can be spent wisely, because that's the only thing we don't get more of is time.
Yeah.
So spend it wisely and like build your business where it makes sense.
That's good. And just to make sure that I'm hearing you, what you're saying. So, for example, if I'm on LinkedIn and I've been there for a while, and now they may have a new whatever platform coming out, Post News or whatever case may be, don't feel the pressure of maybe jumping over to Post News, trying to do LinkedIn, whatever. Just continue to focus in on LinkedIn if your customers are there. If your audience is already there, just double down. There's probably way more people on there there's more people on there you're probably not reaching anyway.
Right.
So double down, figure that out, and see what that looks like for you.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's much easier to cultivate an existing audience than it is to build a brand new one anyway.
Yeah.
But we've, like, TikTok especially, we were feeling so much pressure to be there. And I can speak for myself. I'm feeling pressure to be at TikTok. My clients are feeling pressure to be at TikTok. But is that, at the end of the day, going to build business for Content Journey? I don't know. Maybe. And so I have to, like, really dig deep and be like, is that a good use of my time, my team's time, our resources, cost money, like, to go there? Or do we continue spending time at LinkedIn, which for us is valuable?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So first thing, double down. Wherever you're at right now, just double down right there.
Yeah.
Now, what was that second thing that you shared?
Repurposing our content. And you're the best at this. We were just talking about this, right? So you're taking the time to build a podcast. Now we have video, right? So that's one thing we're doing. We have audio, now we have video.
Okay.
We're taking this into clips and putting it on social media in smaller pieces. We're going to take a transcript of it and make it into a blog post. We might take pieces of that transcript and make that into text-specific things for Facebook or LinkedIn. Maybe if there's something incredibly interesting with one of your guests that you go, like, really deep into a subject, that gets to be a transcript that's an ebook. Right? Or if you have a checklist, that checklist is now a process infographic. And so it's like the same content that gets repurposed in so many different ways, and one effort, really. One major effort. Right? That an assistant, an intern, or somebody else helps
That's
with.
a month worth of content right there.
Absolutely. And you can sprinkle it in, right? So if your podcast, your blog post, and your video is going live in December, and then some of your socials going out in December, then more is going out in January, February, March, August. It's brand new to people, right? And still really valuable. So repurposing that content, being really, really smart about that.
That's good. Now you had a third one. What was that third one?
Not feeling the pressure to have unique content everywhere. So right.
That's good.
It's like when you send an email, I do even do this with clients that, like, read their emails or read their newsletters. We'll reuse subject lines. We'll reuse, like, the internal messaging that worked really well before. And no one knows it. 6 months apart. It's great, especially when you have open rates that are like 30%, new people that are in that list, and the client doesn't even know that it's not unique, right? So your audience definitely doesn't. They're reading things all the time. Or when we post for social media, we'll take one social media post, like, that's going on Facebook, and we post it over 12 months, like 6 times. Because, like, people are on there at different times of the day, and they're not going to see it. Like, my joke is usually, except your mom. Your mom is the only one that's going to see the whole thing every single time. She's going to like it all. She's going to be like, Hetty, why are you posting that same thing all the time?
That's my mom, yes.
Yeah, right? Because our moms are going to be our number one fans. But other than that, no one else is going to realize that we're posting the same thing over and over again.
But people have that pressure on them to feel like they gotta. I mean, I can feel that, and I had to just really tell myself, I'm like, Hetty, one, you're not that cool. Like, everybody's not following you or watching your content every second, every day, and it's okay to do that.
Well, and I don't think it's just about that. I think it's about, maybe your message wasn't right for them at that time. Maybe they didn't need it that day. Maybe it just wasn't relevant. And it is in 2 weeks, or it is in 3 months. And now all of a sudden they're in a different space in their life, and it's a message they need. And so it's not about that.
So then it's right on time.
Yeah, absolutely. And so it's about relieving pressure from ourselves, but also at the same time listening to our audience, giving them the right message at the right time. And just because our ideas from 2020 doesn't mean it's not relevant for somebody in spring of 2023.
Yeah. That's good. So, what's the fourth one?
I have to look. Oh, using video.
Using video.
Yeah. So I'm guilty of this.
Is video king right now? Like using video, talking about using video, because the reason we say using video, because you can also use audio, you can also use text, right?
Yeah.
Is video king?
Video is so good right now with captions. You need to make sure it has captions. People are showing like not just those that have hearing impairments. So my son wears hearing aids. So we're like, and always with the captions. So we're very aware of it in our home. But like everybody does. No sound on phones anymore, right? So whenever they're scrolling through, if it doesn't have a caption, they're not going to catch your video. They're going to go past it. But yeah, people are really consuming videos. And YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world.
Yeah.
Right? TikTok's trying to take over, but they're not going to. So you have Google is number one, YouTube is number two.
Okay.
And so if you have written content and you have a video that accompanies it, that's on the same piece of content. They have two different search values, which is fantastic. But yeah, people consume differently. We have an intern. She's at Francis Tuttle because we're in an incubator too, and Ava, and she's been with us since the spring. And so just a couple months ago, I was like, what's the number one thing you've learned from Content Journey? Like, what's been the best takeaway? She goes, that people still read. I'm not even kidding. I am not even kidding.
That's so true, though. People still read.
She had no idea that people were still going to the internet to read. And so, yeah.
Is that an age? Is that all ages though, or
my mom is super addicted to like video content as well. I still think there is something about I have a problem. And I go to Google and I search it, and I just want to read it really quick and move on. Right? I want my answer, and I want to move on. I don't want to watch a 5-minute video. I don't want to watch a 30-second video. I want to find my answer, and I want to go.
Because sometimes I think the subtitle's enough for me. So if they have 5 points, I just read the title of those, and I'm like, okay, I got it. Yeah. I got what I needed, and so I just read it and move on.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But I mean, I'm even guilty of this. I never was a consumer of video content, and I would get so annoyed going to like a news article and it having a video. I'm like, I don't want the video of the anchors. I want the text, you know. And now I love the video. I'm the old person on Instagram. I'm not the TikTok person. I'm the one they make fun of. Or they're like, we posted on TikTok, and then the old people are going to watch it 2 weeks later on Instagram. I'm that person.
Is that what it is, or is it just like I feel like, and I could be that old person because I'm old. I'm old. So this two old people debating this thing, but I just feel like the same thing I see on Reels is the same thing I see on TikTok.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? I mean, it may be different people, but it's the same vibe to me.
I think it is too. There is some, so SEO is like my game, right? Okay. There's SEO, so search engine optimization, meaning like keyword specific strategy on TikTok that isn't as sophisticated on Instagram. Yeah. So I can create a TikTok keyword strategy on TikTok, but I can't do that as well on Instagram. So that is pretty
from a marketing perspective.
From a marketing strategic
that's
perspective.
A great thing.
Yes.
For us who are consumers, though, like, I don't.
Yeah, I don't care. Except that when you put something in your search and you're searching for something on TikTok, you're more likely to find a result you want on TikTok than you are on Instagram.
Got you.
If you're just kind of like going through Reels like we do, and you're just like, the algorithm's giving you the funny stuff you're looking for, or the cooking things you're looking for, it's going to give it to you. If you're like going like, I'm taking a trip to Italy and I'm going to look for, I don't know, things to do in Rome, right? TikTok's probably going to give you better search results than Instagram will.
Now, the thing about that, though, is I typically, now this is not everybody because I know TikTok's exploding. I just go to YouTube when I'm searching, you know, like for something like that.
Right.
But I know that TikTok in some places is really great. Well, my wife proves this to me. Like, she's always like, I got this recipe off TikTok.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
not to say that she couldn't have found that on YouTube, but
Right. Well, and so YouTube is longer form content, right? So YouTube gives people, I don't know, what do we call it? Extra credit. They give them prizes in the search results for being longer in their content. TikTok doesn't allow that. So it also just depends on the trends of what people are preferring. Does your wife want a minute video? Does she want a minute and 30 seconds? And then if she likes what she sees, then she clicks through and gets the actual recipe. Whereas you might go, no, I want to see them going through the streets of the thing. I want to watch him cut the onion so I can see exactly how this is happening or whatever, which is like a 7 to 10 minute video or a 20-minute video as opposed to a minute and 30, right?
Yeah. So is TikTok still just a minute 30?
I don't.
You don't know. Yeah.
I'd have to look at my checklist.
We have to Google something.
I'd have to ask Ava.
We have to Google that.
I'd have to Google that.
Google that. All right, so let me just kind of review. Double down. One, repurpose content. Not feeling the pressure to have unique content. And then now we're talking about going into 2023, things you can consider. And you can probably consider these same things in 2024. Like, these are some things that just don't change, right? The fourth thing was using video. And we're talking about using video. Using video. Here's the thing. Okay, so let's take a buffer. I don't know if Buffer does this. I know that it will on LinkedIn and all these different places. What if you say, okay, just create a Buffer account. You can have LinkedIn. You can have Instagram. And you can have that same video and upload it. Are you one of those people who's like, no, because LinkedIn customers, people on LinkedIn is looking for different types of, or would you say, yeah, just do that?
Put it all everywhere.
Yeah.
You're creating it. Put it everywhere. Yeah. I mean, and put it everywhere.
Like, why not?
Yeah. Put it everywhere. And then in 30 or 60 days, look at your analytics and then decide. And if people on Twitter loved the video and people on LinkedIn hated it, then you can go, okay, never mind, LinkedIn. I won't give you my video anymore. Or if they, just and then make your adjustments. But why not? You're creating it. Yeah. Why not put it everywhere?
Now, why'd you say 30, 60 days? Why didn't you say 5 or 10 days?
Oh gosh. Yeah. You got to give it a real chance. Yeah. Give it a real chance. So everything takes time. We're not very patient in our world anymore because we post a photo and we're like, why didn't anybody like my photo? I posted it 3 minutes ago. And I have no likes yet. Yeah. So we've learned not to be very patient. We want immediate gratification on what we're doing. Yeah. But I think in marketing, we can be as smart as we possibly can be, but it's all just really intelligent guesses. Yeah. And so we can be like, hey, let's make some really intelligent guesses here and go with our gut instincts and follow our best practices. But if it works for this company, it may not work for this company. So we have to look at our analytics and assess from that point and be like, what did our audience like? And if you don't know what your audience likes, then test it all, right? And if you're creating it anyway, if you're creating that video, put it on all the places.
That's good. That's good. Yeah. All right. What is the fifth one?
Be consistent.
Be consistent. Go win.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Let me see.
We get excited.
Yeah.
We go all in. We listen to Hetty and Lindsey talk, and we're like, yes, I'm going to create all those videos. I'm going to put them all up on my social media, and we're going to do it for 2 weeks or a month, and then it stops because it is work.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why I have a business, right? It's because it's a lot of work, and so people hire us to do it.
Yeah.
But it's about consistency. And so for me, I tell people if you're blogging, let's use blogging as an example, because that's a time consuming marketing activity. If you think it's once a month, do it once a month. You don't have to do it every day.
Yeah.
Make your consistency once a month. So whatever your cadence is, just make it consistent.
Now we're gonna say once a month, okay? We're saying we're not judging and do once a month.
Yeah.
It's once a week better?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Blogging on your website once a week is better.
Gotcha.
Once a week is sufficient.
Okay. Blogging on your website once a month is really good because of SEO?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that the big thing, or because your audience is going to come back every Monday at 8 a.m. and read what you, or is it more like if you really want to get out there, blog once a week, because then your keywords or whatever, make sure you put keywords in there so people are looking for donut maker. They're going to find you.
Yeah.
Is that?
Yeah. So, the Google algorithm, we all pay homage to Google. So there's other search engines, but we use Google in place of all of them, right? There's over 200 factors that go into that algorithm.
Okay.
And so when we are blogging consistently on the website, our audience really doesn't, for the most part, right? Like there might be some websites out there that were like, oh, what's HubSpot saying now? Like for me, right? Like they have great things to say. I'm going to go check out their site. But for the most part, we aren't looking for people who've already heard of us.
Gotcha.
I'm not trying to find the people who already know about Content Journey. I want to find the people who have never heard of Lindsey Miller, who've never heard of Content Journey. I want to find the people on the internet who have a problem that I can solve. And I'm going to do that through content and through the keywords that they're typing into a search engine. So you have to do two things. One, you have to talk to the robots, the algorithm. And the second thing is you have to talk to the humans. Right?
Okay. Wait. See, this is a whole nother podcast. You just went into part 2 of this podcast. Talk to the robots.
Yes.
Talk to the robots and then talk to the people.
Yeah. Yeah. It's and like that's the
but
game
really,
we play.
It's not talk to the robots, then talk to people. It's like talk to the robots and the people.
Yeah, and the people.
Okay.
I mean, we're not going to write. We write for humans first.
Okay.
But we have to honor the robots, or the humans will never find us.
Okay.
Right. And so part of the robots bringing the humans to us.
Now, would these be SEO tips?
Yeah, these are definitely SEO tips.
Yeah.
Part of the way the robots bring the humans to us is to say that our website has fresh, relevant content. And the way that we do that is to say that we're constantly updating it and we're bringing them fresh, relevant content.
Yeah.
And so that is that once a week or once a month or whatever. So that's one of the ranking factors is, does this website, A over here, know what they're talking about? Are they authoritative? Right? Are they doing things on the website and off the website, like guest on a podcast? Are they doing things on social media that people are interacting with? Are they, the other things, but on the website, are they authoritative? Do they know what they're talking about? And is it new? Right? And because it's competitive with every other website that's talking about that donut maker or whatever, or the donut recipe. Oh my gosh, recipes are so competitive. And so think about when you Google donut recipe, how many come up? Like, how do you end up at the top of that?
Yeah.
Well, the people who are blogging consistently about recipes, who are getting reviews about their recipes, who are, talking about them, doing it all the time, that's why they talk about like their grandma's donut pan and like all that, and they're making that really long annoying content. They're talking to robots there because they're saying, hey robots, I know a lot about donuts, and I'm proving to you I know a lot about donuts because I'm going to talk about this pan and why it's the perfect pan and why you use butter instead of shortening and the perfect kind of sprinkle and exactly how to place them so perfect. And we're like, can we just get to the recipe? But they're talking to the robots to say, hey robots, we're experts on donuts. Right. So yeah, I got on a tirade. I'm sorry.
That's good. That is good.
But it's the consistency of that. So if you I'm the master donut maker, and you post on your website one time in a year, you're not going to be anywhere in the search results, and no one is ever going to find your site.
Gotcha. That's so good. So good. Now, Lindsey, I don't want to take up all of your time. We're at 45 minutes. All right.
Well, we had to talk about lookup for so long.
Yeah. We're at 45 minutes, but it's so good. And I want to finish out just making sure that people know how to find you, so you can better help them talk to robots and to humans. Humans first, then robots. Well, it's really humans and robots, being able to talk to them well. How do people find you?
So website's contentjourney.com, where we blog all the time. Just kidding.
That's good.
Instagram is Journey with Linds, Linds, and then content.journey. My cell phone number is, I'm just kidding. And then people can email me if they want to, lindsey@contentjourney.com.
Awesome.
Yeah.
My friends listening, make sure you hit up she just dropped all sorts of, I got so many notes. I'm going to kill 2023. Thank you, Lindsey, very much. But I feel like my friends and our audience will also, if they listen in on this is such practical stuff.
I hope so.
Like, yeah, I think this stuff is doable. And I think that SEO thing is so often people sit down and not really thinking about that. And like, just this whole idea of talking to the robots and how you do that. And the grandma's donut pan is really about, talking to the robot. That's really good. So I appreciate you being willing to be here with us today and providing this great information. Now I got to figure out how I'm going to blog this, video this.
I got you.
Yeah. It's, what do you call it? I got to do some carousels.
Yeah.
Right? You got to do carousels with it. And
and
if you're listening, let me just say this. If you're listening, you can also take these 5 tips. You'd be like, this is what I learned on the Heady Coleman podcast from Lindsey and Content Journey. And you can also use this content for yourself. So go out there and do it. Let's all help each other win. And I appreciate you again, Lindsey. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for hitting that play button for another episode of the Heady Coleman podcast. Go in.